All right, look at the clock. So we're going to talk about two things for Winn Dixie that I want us to make sure are fresh in our minds for our test on Thursday. The first one, you do not need to take notes as long as I see that you're paying attention, okay? And red.
But can we take notes?
If you want to take notes, you can. You do have a reading section in your LA notebooks if you want to take notes.
Is that the last section?
That is the last section. So, that's where we're going to review. We are going to review character traits and theme, okay? Because in Winn Dixie, we have a lot of characters, like a lot of characters that show up quite a bit in Winn Dixie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have a couple different themes in Winn Dixie, and you're like, Miss E, what do you mean theme? And I'm not talking about like the theme of the party, not that kind of theme. We'll discuss it. So first, I do want to start with character traits. I want you to, I'm sure you've at least heard this term before, or if you're like, I've never heard of that, you know what character traits are. I want you to think to yourself, what are character traits? Like if I asked you to give me a definition for the term character traits, not an example, but a definition, what would you say? I want you to turn and talk with the person next to you. How do you define character traits? Turn and talk. After you talk to the person next to you. Like Zoe or Layla. So talk to Zoe or Layla.
What is the name? What are their hobbies? What do they do? Yeah, the personality. There we go.
Yeah, and also how they react.
Ready to rock. Ready to rock. Who can give me a definition for character traits? Who can give me a definition? Drew.
Describing the character, describing what he does, his words,
Okay.
actions.
Okay. Describing the character. Now, does this mean we're only talking about what the character looks like?
Bless you.
Is that it for character traits, what the character looks like? No. Like Drew said, that would involve their actions or what they do. It could include their physical traits or what they look like. What else could it include? Go ahead. Allison?
What they're like, how old they are and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like age could be a part of it. What else? Max?
Like what their feelings are, what like they're super emotional, they're like super serious.
Okay. Emotional and serious. Those are what? It starts with an A. Those are adjectives. When we talk about character traits, I'm going to put this in orange. We talk about I hope I gave myself enough room. Adjectives. I know, wow. A lot of times when we talk about character traits, we're talking about adjectives to describe our character. Jack P.
How they react.
How they react to things. Yes. So their reactions. Could their hobbies also be a character trait?
Yep.
And their favorites?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Hobbies, their job, their favorites, everything about a character. Because if you think about it, characters, in most books, they're people, right? Mm-hmm. And people are defined by more than what they look like, right? I mean, what they look like is part of what makes them who they are, but it's also their emotions, their feelings, how they react to situations, their hobbies, their job, their favorites, their age, their emotions, what they do. That makes that completely altogether forms our character. Allison.
And to make so you know which character you're talking about, you have to include the name.
Their name. That definitely is part of our a character. Elena.
So basically just their personality.
Yeah, their personality. Exactly. So, if I were to say, okay, I want you to guess this character. And I said, this character likes to smile a lot, sometimes to the point of sneezing, is very fluffy, loves people, and is really good at making friends. How many of you think you can guess my character? Let's say it on the count of 3 who the character is. 1, 2, 3.
Winn Dixie.
And all that I had to do, it was Winn Dixie. All that I had to do was list some of his character traits for you to immediately know what character I was talking about, right? I know, all that I had to do was say he likes to smile. But I listed a couple different things that make Winn Dixie who he is. I listed some of his character traits. So character traits are anything that makes a character unique. It's kind of like how we each have traits that make us unique as people. Same for characters. Does that make sense? Do we remember character traits? Okay. Then we have theme. I'm going to see if I can maybe move this guy over here.
You have the wheel locked?
Broke the wheel.
Let's try it
You
now.
had the wheel locked.
Ah, there we go. Okay, now we have theme. Okay, theme. All right, I know you're tall, so that's why I put it in front of you, Mackenzie. Okay, theme. Does anyone know what theme is when it comes to a book? Max?
It's like the sort of like where they are or what time it is.
That's the setting.
Oh.
The setting is where they are or what time it is. What's a theme? What's a theme, Michael?
The theme is what is like what the story is about. But nonfiction. What the lesson is.
We're getting to it. It could involve a lesson.
The genre?
Philip?
Like what it's trying to teach you and how the characters act.
What it's trying to teach you, and how the characters react around it. What else, Chanel?
Like what the book is kind of based on. Like what's the platform of the book?
I kind of like that.
They said
You could kind of say what the book focuses on, and it appears all throughout the book. There are some things that may come up at the beginning of a book, but we never see it again until the end. So, appears throughout the entire story. So, for example, a theme in Winn Dixie.
Friendship.
It's like you can read my mind, Chanel.
Oh.
I know you did. Friendship.
Randomly said friendship.
Does friendship only appear at one part of our book? No. It's throughout the entire course. And is it just like, oh, so-and-so is my friend, and so-and-so is my friend, and so-and-so is my friend, and that's it? No. This book focuses a lot on how building friendships and creating friendships, even with people you don't think you want to be friends with, how that can shape who you are as a person. Our book focuses on friendship a lot, right? And we see it throughout the entire story. What do you think is another theme in Because of Winn Dixie? Michael, go ahead. Allison.
kindness.
Kindness. Yes. That is another big one.
Oh, I know another big one.
Kindness. What's another one? Eosius.
Sadness.
I want to be more specific than just sadness.
Dramatic sorrow.
Layla?
Each person has at least one sadness.
They each have at least one sadness. A lot of their sadnesses have to do with what? Addie?
I was going to ask a different, say a different one.
Okay.
Love.
Okay, love. Philip, what did you say?
People leaving.
People leaving.
Losing
Abandonment, right? Think about it. In our book,
mom.
Opal lost her.
Mom.
When Dixie lost his
Mom.
family. The preacher lost his wife. Amanda lost her.
Mother.
How do you spell
Miss Franny Block.
Miss Franny Block. Yes. So, abandonment.
Not really abandonment. Yes, it is.
Yep. Because,
Yeah, lip mix.
ready to rock?
Lip mix.
Ready to rock.
Ready to roll.
Okay. I get what Max is saying. He's like, well, Missy, when someone abandons you, they make that choice. And you're right. Some of those people did not make the choice to leave. But if we focus on Opal, her mom, the preacher's wife, she chose to leave, right? Okay. Eosius. When Dixie's owners, I mean, we don't know for sure, but because he looked so neglected, do you think maybe they didn't do their best job caring for him?
Yeah.
We could say. So, abandonment. I want you to think to yourself, how does abandonment affect Opal as a character? How does that, her mom leaving her, how did that influence her as a character or make her the kind of character or person she is? Turn and talk with the people around you. How did that affect her?
It made her love her dad more. She had no, but it changed her because I bet she would have been so much different if the mom was there. Growing up with a mom is completely different than growing up with a dad. So I think it would be very different. Yeah. Wait, did Opal mom leave or did she die?
She left.
Oh, okay.
She left. She chose to leave.
For Miss Franny Block, did she have an S or an R?
What?
Like in the name, like did she
Franny?
have like MRS or was it just MS?
Oh. I think it's MS or MIS. Yeah.
When Opal's mom left, she didn't have a choice, so she had to leave
Opal should be more glad about her father because her mom, she left, but her father's No.
Better. Okay. Opal as a person. What was one of the main things she bonded with Winn-Dixie over? What was that first connection they had that she said in the book? It was what, Allison? They both don't have a mom. So, do you think Winn-Dixie's still a dog, Opal still wanted a dog. She still would have bonded with Winn-Dixie, right?
Yeah.
But would she have bonded with him on that deep of a level if her mom had stayed?
No.
So would you say that maybe abandonment is maybe one of the biggest themes of the book? Because our two main characters, Opal and Winn-Dixie, only met because neither of them had a mom, right?
Yeah.
What she said was
We're both orphans. Yep, we're both
Dad
orphans.
wasn't a preacher.
Yes. So I want you to think to yourself, how would you put the word abandonment? How would you define it in your own words? Turn and talk with the person next to you. How would you define it in your own words? It's a hard one. Yep.
That's a hard question, Daddy.
Jack, how would you define abandonment? Share with us.
You have, I define it that a lot of people have been leaving you, and you just seem to be feeling like God is just trying to take all the people that you love and cherish away, and just take them away from you, and you're just feeling He's trying to make you sad or something.
Remember, our clock's fast.
No, that clock isn't fast.
Ready to rock.
Ready to roll.
How many of you said something like, abandonment is when someone chooses to leave someone else? Nice. All right, line up at the door for recess.
That's the recess bell.